Hey y'all, this is TCA Gaming, and in this video we are going to go over the new Mega Evolution set. Now there's not a lot of information out there about it, but I am going to show you guys what is out there. I'm going to reference a few different sites that have put information out there, but I'm going to give you my thoughts on what I'm seeing so far and why I'm not particularly excited about it, but also why I am a little bit excited about it and what I also hope to see. So the email that I've received had this right here, and you can see there are 4 different artworks that it's showing off, and I assume you can see that those 4 packs down below all have those artworks, so that should be what our packs look like. And what stuck out right away before I clicked anything, just looking at what we have here. All right, so Gardevoir, that's Steam Siege. Venusaur, that's XY base set. The Kangaskhan was XY Flash Fire. And then you also have the Lucario, that's XY Furious Fist. So you're talking about XY 1, 2, and 3, and then the very last non-specialty XY set that had Megas in it. So to me, I was thinking, wow, this it definitely reminds me of the old Megas, but kind of like the old cards too. Now, Gardevoir did have a release earlier than that in Primal Clash as well as in Generations. So there were 3 different Mega releases for the Gardevoir. You had, like I said, Primal Clash, Generations, and then Steam Siege. This one kind of looks like the Steam Siege one to me. Maybe it's just the way the artwork is positioned. But yeah, each set had its own like Pokemon that stuck out. Flashfire was definitely like the Charizard, but XY base set they introduced Xerneas and Yveltal, but Venusaur and Blastoise were in there, but we didn't get the Charizard until Flashfire. But the only other big Pokemon that saw a secret rare or a Mega Pokemon that saw a secret rare in Flashfire was the Kangaskhan. And so we see that one right there. But his kids kind of popped out. Definitely different artworks, but it's kind of interesting to see. So if we go over here, I just Googled this stuff and I was like, you know what, let's see who's got information out there. Is the whole set already out? And so Justin Basil, every now and then I'll visit this site just to get nice, clear pictures, kind of like Collector. But they put stuff in here almost immediately as soon as you see things being released. You can see there's the Mega Venusaur. And let's talk about the Mega Venusaur for just a second. So I'm not sure that I like the way the names are like outlined. It almost makes it look grouped together. I imagine these cards are going to look a little bit different once we get them in person. But look at this. Solar Transfer. As long as you like, or as often as you like during your turn, you may use this ability to move a basic Grass Energy from one of your Pokemon to another one of your Pokemon. So this is like the original base set Venusaur. I think it was called Energy Trans on that one. And then it also took 4 Jungle Energy and it did 60 damage. But now it's doing 240 damage. So that's kind of crazy. But look up here, 380 HP. I believe that's a record. I want to say it may not be. There may be other Pokemon out there that have more than 340. But I know the Ishihara GX, the really rare card with like one of the creators on it, or the CEO, maybe he's the president, that had 350 HP, and that was the top for a while. But seeing Mega Pokemon and seeing that has 380 HP, I personally hope that Wailord, Mega Wailord, comes out and he gets 400 HP. If you guys don't know, Wailord is the first card to achieve 200 HP. It was the Wailord EX back in Sandstorm. Prior to EX Sandstorm, we didn't have any cards that had over 120 HP. But then when Sandstorm come around, I believe there was like Aggron might have hit 150, and there might have been a few others. But the Wailord is what stuck out. It hit 200 HP, and that stuck as the limit for the HP, the hit points on Pokemon cards all the way through Generation 3, I believe Generation 4, and Generation 5. And it was the Mega Pokemon that were able to achieve the past 200 HP, and that was in Generation 6 when we started off with XY base set, and we had the Mega Venusaur, we had the Mega Blastoise, and in fact the Mega Venusaur had 230 HP if I'm recalling right. The Blastoise I believe had 220, so the Venusaur edged it out in that set. But then we didn't see any Pokemon to get to 300 HP until I want to say the tag team Wailord GX, and then that was the first one to hit 300. So Wailord was the first one to hit 200, it was the first one to hit 300. Let's see it have be the very first Pokemon card to have 400 HP. And that's just my 2 cents on it. Of course, it could be something else. They can do whatever they want, but it'd be kind of cool if they just kept the stuff in line. Now, I was trying to X out of here. You can see some other cards in the set. You know, most people are going to want to focus on, the bigger cards. Of course, this isn't like the full art or even an illustration rare if we're going to get that, or a special illustration rare, but some of those are below. You can see here's Mega Gardevoir again. This will be the 4th Mega Gardevoir, if I'm thinking right, for the release of this specific Pokemon with a Mega. Mega Lucario, that one did come out in Furious Fist. It was kind of like the main card for that set. Mega Latias, we saw that in Roaring Skies, so another card that we've already seen as a Mega. Scrolling down through here, of course, these illustration rares we didn't really have during that time period, so this is all going to be new. This is still probably going to be the focus. Same thing if we have special illustration rares, which we see right there. There should be a section for it. Maybe there'll be gold cards. Maybe there'll be silver cards. Who knows on that? But let's go look at PokeBeach, because let me scroll to the top. I pulled up this, and they had some pretty cool information on here. This shows that it come out at 6 o'clock this morning when I'm recording it, which is July 10th. So you guys probably aren't getting this at July 10th, but that's when it was recorded. You're going to see it's going to release on September 26th, the first set of a new Mega Evolution block. Pre-order should be available within 24 hours. Yeah, I've been getting pings from people telling me, hey, you might be get Pokemon Center ETBs. I was told it was probably going to be by 2 o'clock. It's after 2 o'clock now. Who really knows? Here are the 4 pack artworks. We just showed those and kind of went over them. You can see right here you have Lucario and you've got Gardevoir as the top cards here. So you can see the Riolu. There's that promo that was already on Justin Basil. And I assume there'll be something similar for the Gardevoir. Maybe it'll be a Ralts. If we go back over here, was there a Ralts? I'm not seeing one, but if Riolu is going to be in there with Lucario, presumably Ralts would be the special illustration rare with the Gardevoir, unless they keep the same one in every one of the Elite Trainers, which I don't know why you'd do that. All right, Psyduck got a promo there with the 3-pack blisters and a Golduck. At least they're kind of going together. Hydro Pump, pretty cool. We had the Jungle Dump with the Venusaur. Here are the Check Lane blisters. Got Drift Blim, and you've got a what looks like a Mega Lucario coin. And then we have Lycanroc and Rockruff. So none of the promos are really sticking out to me. You got Tyranitar. Oh, what is this? It's just a regular Wailord and Wailmer. It would have been kind of cool if they'd stuck a Wailord non-Mega with 400 HP. I mean, that's way too high for a non-Mega. It would never happen. But, you know, if they did, I would still be happy because Wailord got it. All right, we got Meowscarada again. Not really anything that I'm super, you know, stoked about. Here's the booster bundle. Pretty much all the kind of stuff that you would expect. And it says, oh wait, Elite Trainer boxes will feature Riolu or Alakazam. Okay, I don't know why Alakazam, maybe because it's also Psychic, and we don't have Fairy type anymore. Fairy type was a big thing that was introduced, Fairy, and I think it was Fairy, yeah. Fairy type was introduced in XY base set with like Xerneas and a few other cards. All right, going down through here, let's see what this is for. So we have the Mega Evolution Bulbasaur. This is going to be in the enhanced booster boxes. So we are getting promos in these boxes, so that's really cool. We didn't see it with Destined Rivals. At least I don't think we did we? Man, I'm already like blanking. Of course, we saw it with Journey Together, but yeah, this is much better than the Reshiram. I really like Bulbasaur as a Pokemon, just in general, very first one, and the colors look really cool. Definitely unique with that dark background contrast from the Bulbasaur. Here are the mini tins, and here's some of the information that we have: 180 cards, including secret rares. So not a huge set, but it's still going to be a big set. 10 Mega Evolution cards confirmed. All right, we have Venusaur, Camerupt, Abomasnow, Gardevoir, Lucario, Absol, Mawile, Latias, Kangaskhan, and then leaving Ampharos or Manectric for the unrevealed Lightning-type Megas. Okay, so let's just stop right here. All right, Venusaur, we've had this one before. Camerupt, we had a Mega Camerupt box. Abomasnow, that one's new. Gardevoir, we had 3 of those. We had Mega Lucario. We had a Mega Absol box. We had a Mega Mawile box. We had a Latias from Roaring Skies. And we had Kangaskhan in Flashfire. So only one of these 10 Mega Evolution Pokemon that have been confirmed are actually Pokemon who didn't receive a Mega before. I can't remember. Yeah, Mega Ampharos had one. That was in Ancient Origins. And then Mega Manectric, that was Phantom Forces. So those were also... yeah, those were repeats from what we've seen. And we're talking about Generation 6, and we're going into Generation 10. I'm not sure if this is actually. I think this is going to be Generation 9 still. Maybe it'll be Generation 10. I really don't know. It's coming after the Black and White block, so Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I'm not too sure how all that works, but there's plenty of new Pokemon to pick from and other old Pokemon that did not get a Mega, right? So, all right, looking right here, we've got more than 15 trainer cards. I don't think really anybody cares other than, hey, give me some trainers that are playable. 22 full art Mega Evolution Pokemon EX and trainer cards. So how many of those are going to be trainers? How many are going to be Mega Evolution? But it says, for the first time ever, item, stadium, and Pokemon tool cards. So I'm not sure I understand that one. Unless there's like saying it's going to be a full art stadium. I mean, we've had that kind of stuff before. I mean, maybe we've just had regular supporters and things like that, like Lysander, you know, that kind of stuff. Because I'm trying to think back to the XY era and what are they trying to mimic here. 22 illustration rare Pokemon. I think that's a plus. They need to keep on with those. 10 special illustration rare Mega Evolution Pokemon EX and supporter cards. So I think that your big chases from this Mega Evolution set are going to be your however many there are of the special illustration rares that are Mega Evolutions. Maybe not so much the supporter cards. You know, they might look cool, but they're probably not going to be the chase. If you have like a special illustration rare Mega Evolution Alakazam, of course, a Charizard or something like that, people are going to go after those. It says it's going to feature a new art style for the full art Mega Evolution, featuring a silhouette of the regular version of that Pokemon alongside its Mega Evolution. So Lucario silhouette next to Mega Lucario. So I don't know if we've seen any of that yet in the cards that we were looking at, but I guess we'll figure that out more as the cards do come out. And then you can see on the Japanese side, you got Mega Brave and Mega Symphonia, and that releases on August 1st. So just a few weeks from now, we'll get a better idea of what cards are going to be included. But I really hope that we see more variety in the choice of Pokemon that are going to receive a Mega Evolution. It looks like right now with this Mega Evolution set, they are sticking to almost exclusively Pokemon we've already seen with a Mega in the past. And that's kind of upsetting for me. But if we look down through here, September 26th, you've got a Mega Charizard. We've had that before. I'm game for Charizard. September 5th, Mega Gengar and Mega Diancie. All right, we've already had Mega Gengar. That was also in Phantom Forces. Mega Diancie also had a collection box. The Diancie I don't really care about. The Mega Gengar, I'm all for reprinting Gengar. I think it's one of those, you know, top tier Pokemon that everyone's going to like. They probably should have made that one a little bit closer to Halloween. That would have been kind of nice. All right. Legends ZA releasing worldwide. So I guess that would be when we go into Generation 10 then in black and white. That's like one of the specialty sets here at the end of the block. I'm not too sure on the releases. There's so many releases that come out from Pokemon now. I can't even keep like the regular set releases straight from something else because Black and White doesn't have a booster box, so it should be a specialty set. But I don't really know. I mean, is this Mega Evolution set going to be specialty as well? Like two specialty sets, you know, this close together. All right, but then we've got Ninja Spinner featuring Mega Greninja EX. Now, I don't remember a Mega Greninja. I know there was Ash's Greninja EX, but I don't think that one received a Mega. So there's our second one that we can see here that will be brand new. And then we've got Mega Rayquaza EX. And these are question marks, so they may not actually feature those. But we did see Rayquaza. We saw it in several sets, including it was like Primal Clash, Ancient Origins, No, it was just Roaring Skies and Ancient Origins. Ancient Origins actually took the three best cards that were like the Megas from both Primal Clash and Roaring Skies and gave them gold cards. They had the Mega Primal Gengar, or not Gengar, Groudon, the Kyogre, and then you also had the Rayquaza. And all three of those in gold form were really nice. And then Abyss Eye featuring a new Mega Evolution. Let's hope so. And then maybe a high-class pack set. So they kind of go into what may be coming out. So it's really cool. So you can find a lot of information right here about from PokeBeach. And usually this is a really good place to find really good quality images and different things like that. I know they had like a slight mix-up that some people were mad about a little while back. But for the most part, this PokeBeach, I almost always go here if I'm just trying to figure out when something is going to release or check information that's currently out there about it. I can type in whatever it is that I'm trying to find in PokeBeach, and it'll be, you know, it'll come right up, and there's almost always an article out there. And they've been doing this for years and years and years. But anyways, this is the new Mega Evolution set, and so for me, what I've seen so far, it's a little bit of a letdown because it's given me XY base set vibes. And while there was a lot of excitement about that set right when it came out, it quickly died out. The sets past it quickly outpaced XY base set, because it didn't really have anything in there, and it still doesn't today, that you're like, hey, I want that card. It's like a big chase. As soon as you jump into Flashfire XY2, you've got the secret rare Mega Charizards that you can go after. Even with Furious Fist, I think Lucario has a little bit of chase to it, but really that's still like one of those early sets that people are like, I don't really want it. Then you get the Phantom Forces, and now you've got like that secret Dialga, and even the Gengar is still a really nice card. Then you go to Primal Clash, you got the Mega Primal Groudon and Kyogre. You get, and then after that, I believe you go into there's more sets after that. I can't even remember but is it Breakpoint? Is that one 6 or that one 9? Fates Collide. There's Breakpoint, Fates Collide, Roaring Skies is number 7, Ancient Origins is number 8. And it goes all the way through the end, but there's always seems to be like a chase. Steam Siege really didn't have that. That's why it's still kind of like a letdown set, but it still had a nice looking Gardevoir. I personally like Volcanion. Most people don't like Volcanion, and so like it kind of mirrors that set in a way where there's not a card where people open it up and they're going to get really excited if they pull it and know that this is something that they can put back in their personal collection, or if they don't like it, then they can at least resell it and get their money back. I don't think there's a card really associated with the original set that's probably going to outpace a box of base set. And this is me just spitballing it. Maybe one of the cards in there, one of the megas, is pretty low pop in a 10 because the condition was really bad. But I think that's what you'd be chasing, something really low pop in a 10. And you know, the Mega Blastoise and Venusaur, those were nice cards, but they're not up there with like the Charizards and the Silver Dialga and, you know, other cards like that. So I'm hoping that when we do see the special illustration rares that will be released for this set, that it can kind of bring that up just a little bit. I am excited about the Alakazam because I like Alakazam a whole lot more than a Ralts. So I think that, you know, them putting this in there for one of the elite trainers, while I don't fully see the parallel between how you've got a Riolu and Lucario cover art going from an Alakazam to a Gardevoir, unless maybe they're just kind of like paired together really well within the TCG. But I like it. I like the Alakazam much better than I would a Ralts or even a Gardevoir. So I think that this artwork here is really nice looking, and so I'm excited about that. You guys let me know what you think about the set. Do you think this is going to be a killer set? Do you think we just need to wait and see what artworks are going to come out, or potentially come out even with the Japan release that we're going to see here? Here should be 2 or 3 weeks, right? I would imagine we're going to start seeing some leaks by then. Seeing Pokemon Center has made this announcement now, and they're going to be taking pre-orders soon. It's really interesting to see how a lot of the stuff parallels some of the original sets and the original releases of Megas. And my one thing about Wailord there, you know, that I think it'd be cool to see it get 400 HP, but we may not see 400 HP in this set. It may come later on in another set, and if it does, then, you know, that is what it is. But I think we can all safely say at this point we're going to see it. I mean, right off the bat, the very first, you know, set, we've got 380 HP coming from the Venusaur. So there are going to be more megas, and there's probably going to be some that push that limit and even exceed it. Who knows? Maybe this time here in 2 years we'll be at 500 HP. It would surprise me. You always have this power creep that you constantly have to adjust for. So I don't know how Pokemon plans to navigate that as they continue to grow in how much HP and attack and energy and all these different things. But I guess as long as they scale it and they keep the block kind of tight knit to where things can be playable in the back of the block all the way up to the front of the block, then I guess it works out, right? Because we're not going all the way back to the original Pokemon and using them to play in the modern formats. So I think Pokemon does a good job of maintaining that power creep and not letting it get too out of hand, even though we see cards like the Mega Venusaur where, you know, it's got this same attack and ability similar to what we saw on the original base set Venusaur, and the HP on the original base set Venusaur was 100. You multiply that by 4 and you get almost 400. It was 60 damage. Multiply that by 4, you get 240. So it's a pretty decent parallel, and it's interesting to see this kind of stuff constantly coming back up again, and Pokemon recycling these old abilities, attack powers, you know, ratios, that kind of thing. It worked back then, but will Solar Transfer work now? Is this going to be a card that's played in decks? I have no idea. But look at that, 3 prize cards. That's a heck of a knockout. So you only have to knock out 2 megas and you win. So you beat your opponent unless somehow they got prizes back in there. But as always, I appreciate everyone who took the time to listen to me ramble on about the Mega Evolution set. A lot of this is just me one take spitting it out at you guys. So if I rambled a bit, I do apologize. But thank you for your support. Don't forget to like and subscribe.